What's going on, guys? Jake Boley with BarBend.com. Today we're going to be doing another shoe review, and we're going to be looking at the Reebok JJ Watts. The Reebok JJ Watt is named after professional football player JJ Watt. Back in the summer of 2016, Reebok and JJ Watt teamed up to launch their first ever JJ1 model. This was a shoe designed to promote stability, comfort, and versatility for a variety of workouts. In the summer of 2017, they dropped the JJ2, which is what we have here. So now today in this review, we're going to be looking at the construction, the pros, cons, performance, and price that go into this model. So now let's take a closer look at the construction. All right, so when it comes to construction for the JJ2, there are a lot of different components that go into making up this model. JJ Watt designed this shoe to be versatile for a variety of movements. So now let's talk about the construction features that kind of assist that. So we'll start up here at the toe. As you can see, there's the rubber outsole material up here that stretches over the midsole. It makes up the toe midsole. There's no lip on it, so I kind of like that for durability purposes. It's not going to break off very easily for sprinting or toe drag movements, which I'm a big fan of. And it kind of protrudes off of the midsole here, so it has that extra additional lapping on it. On the toe construction up here at the top material, it has the Flexweave material that Reebok uses. If you're a Nano fan, then you obviously know it's in the Reebok CrossFit Nano 8 Flexweave. This is a material that's pretty abrasive, designed to be a little bit more durable and breathable, and it's pretty sturdy. I don't think it's gonna have a lot of breakdown issues. When it comes to the eyelets of the shoe and the midfoot, it's a little bit different. So there are about 5 to 6 eyelets going up, depending on how many you actually wanna use. On the 2 bottom eyelets, there are additional pieces of material here. It's like an extra mesh / nylon material, and it kind of holds these bottom laces intact a little bit more, and it provides a little bit of stability. Then on the top 2 laces here, 2 eyelets for that matter, we have these loops that kind of go in and out of the shoe, and as you can see, they're actually separate from the actual boot construction, so it's a little bit of an extra stability. It's like a leather-esque material, and I think that's going to help with kind of the durability of this shoe and to help pull that shoe fully tight. On the midfoot outer construction, it's the same Flexweave material. The midsole is nothing too crazy. It's this foam rubber material that goes all the way around to the heel. Working our way up to the tongue. Tongue's a little bit wider. It has a little bit of give to it, as you can see. I like that because it allows you to pull that tongue really tight, and also it's gonna have less of a chance of kind of getting bunched up if you're doing any kind of lateral movements or any kind of movements where you're gonna have any kind of lateral flexion of the ankle. So I kind of like that the tongue is a little bit wider. It's a little bit thicker too. Has a little bit of give to it. Working our way to the heel. Looking at the boot construction here, it's a little bit thicker than some of the other Reebok cross-training models. I kind of like that because since this is a versatile model, I like having a little bit extra cushion, especially on the top of the boot, because it helps with like any kind of lateral movement and also kind of friction. So if you're running a lot or sprinting and you're prone to getting your heels rubbed up on different kinds of shoes and their boots, this could be a good way to prevent it, having a little bit extra cushion. On the heel itself, there's added stability here. So as you can see, this is kind of similar to the Reebok Speed TR model, how it has the extra heel stability built into the shoe as opposed to the Nano, which features the heel cup. So I like that for kind of keeping a subtle stability to it, but also providing like a good amount. So as you can see, it doesn't bend very much. I like that. It's a good sign of durability and stability for that matter. It doesn't really bend down too much. The top layer here obviously doesn't have the heel stability, which is good because otherwise you'd have a lot of rubbing. So it doesn't have it up here, which is nice. Going down to the heel's midsole, we have this liquid foam layer, which is designed to kind of promote like natural reaction on multiple surfaces, but also provide some stability. It's not going to be as sturdy as like, let's say a TPU heel, but it is going to give some natural reaction to multiple movements. Similar midsole here, going all the way around the midsole to the heel. It's the EVA like foam material. Working to the outsole, we have a textured blue here, material that is, it's pretty sturdy to be honest. It has these little ridges on it. And I think that could be good for different kinds of traction, whether you be outside or inside. I kind of worry though that maybe they're not going to be as sturdy on some of like the rubber flooring that you'll find in gyms, but we're going to put that to the test. And there's the layer here that kind of extends out. And I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I can see it being good for running and other kind of like lateral movements because it's very sleek and it's very versatile, but I'm curious to see how this holds up in any kind of compound movements with any kind of let's say some knee valgus where the knees are actually kind of caving in. So I'm interested to put that to the test. A little bit different about the outsole compared to like the Speed TR and the Nano models. So all in all, that's the construction features worth noting for the shoe that are going to have some kind of play in the performance. All right, so a quick note on sizing of this model. This is a size 10 shoe, and in all Reebok models, I've reviewed size 10 shoes to give you a little bit of a context on how this shoe feels to other models. If I lift up my toe, I'm right here. It's a little bit of a less than probably a ½ inch, maybe a ½ inch of space at the toe. I feel a little bit bunched up here, to be honest, and I might actually go up in a size 10.5 to give myself a little bit of additional room, especially because I don't want my toes getting jammed in sprints and other jumping movements. In terms of midfoot and how it feels, and when I pull up the laces fully tight, so feels pretty tight. I like the additional support. I'm gonna lace up the top 5th lace here to give you guys a shot of how much tongue there is on this model. So all the way laced up, you still have a good amount of tongue. I like that. The shoe fits pretty tight. In terms of width, it's pretty good. I can fully splay my toes with no issue. The only real issue is up here at the top. This feels a little bit similar to the Speed TR in terms of width, but it's a little bit more narrow compared to the Nano. So if you've ever worn a Speed TR, I would say it fits most similar to that. In terms of like fitting towards the Nano is definitely a little bit more wide at the toe, and that's to provide full toe splay. This model doesn't really have that, and it fits pretty true, but again, you might want to size up. Again, though, it's going to come down to your personal preference. When it comes to pros for the JJ2, I really like 3 things. Number 1, I like the Flexweave material. I'm a fan of it, and I think it's very durable, and if you're a fan of the CrossFit Nano 8 Flexweave, then you're gonna like how this shoe is constructed. Number 2, I like the reinforced laces down here. So like, not a lot of shoes offer this, but it offers extra layering down here on the bottom 2 laces, and I thought that was really good for any kind of jumping movement or sprinting where you're really putting that toe of the shoe to the test. And then lastly, I like that there's additional padding up here towards the top of the boot. If you're prone to having that kind of friction on the heel or the outside, the lateral sides of the ankle, or medial side of the ankle for that matter, this is gonna be pretty good at preventing that. And I think if you're gonna be using it for any kind of sprint, speed, or long duration running, this shoe is gonna be a pretty good bet. All right, when it comes to cons with the JJ2, I could see athletes having 2 potential problems. Number 1, we mentioned it in the construction, but there is this medial dip right here in the midfoot. I think that could be an issue. So if you have any kind of knee valgus or you notice that your feet turn in a lot, that could be a problem. Obviously there are mechanics wrong with your lifting if that's an issue, but this shoe is definitely not gonna do its best at preventing that or helping it. And then lastly, the outsole material, like the texture here. So as you can see, there's these little bumps and ridges. Personally, I like them. They grip the floor pretty well, but I have a little bit of an issue with how they grip the floor when they're a little bit sweaty on a rubber surfacing. It's not the best in terms of actual grip in that setting, but again, that's a small finite population. It's not going to be that relevant for a lot of people, but it is one of those performance features to keep in mind. All right, so now let's talk pricing for the Reebok JJ2s. For this shoe, you can expect to pay around $90 to $100. And so if we compare that to normal cross-training models, that's priced similar to the Reebok Speed TR, and it's priced a little bit less than the Reebok Nano. So if you're looking for a shoe that you want to do more like a speed training and like more of a dynamic workout in, I think this would be a good bet. But again, it's not fully focused on cross-training and like compound movements. So in that case, you might want to reach for the Nano, which again is going to be a little bit more pricey. But if you're looking for a dynamic shoe, this could fit the bill. All right, so now how did the Reebok JJ2s perform? We're outside because we've been doing a lot of sprinting, a lot of jumping, and a lot of different cardio-based movements. In terms of cardio-based movements, running and sprinting, these shoes perform pretty well. They're very athletically designed, so they do feel really good in all those movements. They have the medial side here that comes in. It provides a little bit of a narrow fit. I thought that was pretty cool, especially for providing like a shoe that provides similar to like almost a barefoot kind of feeling. Obviously, there's a good size midsole and outsole, so it doesn't feel like a barefoot, but in terms of like a natural feel, these shoes did pretty good. In terms of in the gym performance, so I squatted and power cleaned in these shoes, similar to how a strength athlete or like you're training for like, let's say football or hockey or whatever sport you may play. I tried them out with those movements. They felt pretty good. They provided a good amount of support. They didn't compress very easily under heavy weight. And I think you're gonna be safe to work up to about 275 to 315 pounds with these shoes without any kind of compression. I didn't go heavier than that, so I wouldn't recommend going much heavier. I did notice a little bit of wavering in the power clean when I got up to 225, but that was because of my own knee instability, not necessarily the shoe. So in the gym, they perform pretty well as well. If you need a more athletic fitting shoe that has a good amount of durability, I think the Reebok JJ2s could be a good choice for you. That wraps up my review of the Reebok JJ2s. These aren't our standard cross-training focused model that we reviewed in the past, but they definitely surprised me in the gym. To read my full thoughts, click on the link below or search Reebok JJ2 and BarBend. And if you like this shoe review and you want to see more, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.